Lovelies! Welcome back to Mid Behind Mary Castle, where things officially stop being subtle. Before we dive into today's clue, let's do a quick recap of what we know so far, because day 3 feels like the point where the story shifts from observation to survival. So, get cozy, grab your coffee or tea, and let's dive into this mystery together. By now, we know that Mary Castle isn't just haunted, it's watching. Day 1 introduced us to the castle, the storm, the manager, and most importantly, the mirror. The mirror didn't reflect us as we were, it showed us with our eyes closed. By day 2, the mirror vanished, and in its place was a portrait of Lady Mary, dressed in crimson, her eyes following us from every angle. System warnings started sagging. Don't trust down after midnight. Don't stare at portrait. Don't acknowledge what noticed you. Don't share what you hear on VANNA Community. And yet someone did. The radio told us about crying sounds, silence more terrifying than noise, and ended with one chilling line. You're next. Which brings us to day 3. Today, we received 3 system warnings. The first one repeat, after midnight, do not trust any sounds on the home square. The second one escalate things dramatically. After midnight, if you discover a person collapsed in the castle wall, leave immediately and do not look back. And the final warning is the most unsettling. Do not post on VANNA Community. You have been warned. At this point, the system isn't giving advice anymore, it is trying to prevent damage. Despite the warnings, there is a new VANNA Community post. The title is Time to Go. The description says, sneakers are the best for running away. And the image, a crystal red apple laying on the floor. The comments are also uneasy. Can't believe someone is still living in that castle after all the story. The blogger who used to post about Mary Castle, where Mary comes after us. At this point, I don't think the system warnings are about superstition. They are about attention. Don't look, don't listen, don't post. Because acknowledgement seems to be the trigger. And now the system is warning us about seeing a person collapse, not someone, not the manager, a person. That warnings matter. With that in mind, let's listen to radio episode 3.
You jerked backward from the door. That phrase echoed in your mind. You're next. Was it a warning, a threat, or merely a statement of fact? You couldn't just sit and wait. You surveyed the room, searching for anything that could serve as a weapon. There was a fire poker by the fireplace, too short. The vanity stool was too heavy and unwieldy. Finally, you found a baseball bat in the corner by the wardrobe, completely out of place in this ancient castle room. But at this moment, it was the perfect weapon. You gripped the bat tightly. The wooden handle gave you a false sense of security. Deep breath. Count to 3. 1, 2. The next second, you yanked the door open. The corridor was empty. Dim gas lamps cast flickering shadows on the walls. The knocking and crying from earlier had vanished without a trace, leaving only the incessant rain outside the windows. You cautiously stepped into the corridor. That held before you. The hallway extended in both directions. Left led to the stairs, right to closed guest room doors. Which way should you go? You decided to go to the lobby first to find the manager and get some answers. After all, he was the only living person you'd encountered here. After just a few steps, strong intuition made your spine tingle. You whipped around. Behind you was only the empty corridor, your room door still open, emitting warm light. You breathed a sigh of relief and turned to continue forward, but as soon as you turned around, you witnessed a horrifying sight. At the entrance to the lobby, something human-shaped lay on the floor. You slowed your pace, gripping the bat tighter. Then you saw clearly what it was. It was the manager. He lay face down, his once impeccable suit now wrinkled. The back of his head showed an obvious indentation, dark liquid seeping onto the floor in an ever-widening pool. Fighting the urge to vomit, you took a few steps closer. Past experience told you that with this kind of injury, the person was beyond saving. This was the mark of a heavy object striking down. Suddenly, clear footsteps in high heels sounded behind you. Clack, clack. Slow, deliberate, coming from the direction of the stairs. You froze in place. Clack, clack. The sound drew closer. Your mind went blank with only one instinct. Run. You ran wildly, mindful of the sounds behind you. A high-heeled footsteps followed, starting out with a slow pace but gradually quickening, pursuing you relentlessly. You rounded a corner, pushed open a half-closed door, stumbled inside, and slammed it shut behind you, locking it. With your back against the door, you gasped for air, your heart pounding so hard it seemed ready to shatter your ribs. A few seconds later, the high-heeled footsteps stopped outside the door. You held your breath. Then the doorknob turned slightly.
This is the first time the story confirms direct violence. The manager is dead, and whatever in the castle is now hunting us, chasing us. This isn't a ghost stories anymore. Here is what I think is happening. The mirror from day one wasn't showing a future, it was showing a replacement. Lady Mary doesn't drag people away, she waits for acknowledgement. That is why don't stare at portrait, don't trust sound, don't pose, don't look back. The crying isn't asking for help, it is bait. And the VVANNA community post, I think the person is already trapped in the castle loop, trying to warn others without directly saying it. Or they doesn't know that they are in the loop. The manager deck marks as a shift. There is no guides anymore. From now on, it is just us and Mary. Let me know your theories in the comments. And remember, if you hear something after midnight, don't open the door. That is all for this video. Stay safe and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video.